What a clash of the titans. But of course, that was mythology. This is reality. And you'd be confused if you thought it was a final. Why not? It's got that feel.
The first frame, John Higgins to break.
In fact, it's the last 8.
Well, I was just about to say, Phil, that any young aspiring snooker players, I said this afternoon, watch and learn this match tonight, but not that break-off. If you go by boxing analogies, who's going to be first with the first knockout punch? Because this is a heavyweight contest.
Yes, and on that subject of rivalries, it's like Coe, Ovitt, Mickelson, Woods. Fraser, Ali. When they're happening, savour them, because eventually they won't happen. They'll be gone.
Yeah, and I think you have to spare a thought for Anthony Hamilton. He's got to play the winner of these two.
12.
He'll just try and catch the edge of the main pack here. That'll leave a red to left corner. If he catches the red before the pack, he'll be on nothing. The red in between the black and the bunch of reds. There you see he's lining it up. That's the cannon he wants. Perfect. I think you're going to see a masterclass in cue ball control from both these players tonight.
20.
Again, cannon judged to perfection. Same felt like young players that want to play snooker to watch and learn. I think a large percentage of professional players would learn from watching tonight.
Couldn't agree more. This
28.
is the cream, and they've been the cream for a quarter of a century.
$29. $35.
Absolutely sold out tonight. The queue to get in began at 5 o'clock this evening.
So the red is just at the right edge of the bunch. Just wants to hit the left-hand side of that and just screw through the pack.
$43.
Didn't quite make the contact in that red, but you could still see the reaction he got in the cue ball once it hit the first red. It wanted to come back to the middle of the table.
44.
And that shot is so important, that recovery red to middle. It glues so many breaks together. And then the black is missed off its spot.
Ronnie OSullivan, 44.
That's a decel. Whenever you miss that shot thin on the low side, it means you've decelerated on the follow through. Well, it's only the
One.
first frame, but this is already a big moment in the match.
Eight. Nine.
It was amazing though. Ronnie's reaction to miss that black fella shows how much this match means to him.
15.
Always
John
wide.
Higgins, 15.
But played with sensible intent.
And John's just looking to see if that plants onto the left corner. So it looks like he's taking the cue ball up to the bulk end of the table from this red. He's just going to bring the cue ball back to somewhere where it is now. He felt this was the only safe place, so obviously John feels there's no plant there. Ronnie's going to have a look as well. I'd be amazed if John had left it. He had a good look. It looks lined up to the pocket, but what the first red is actually going to make contact with the one that's just touching it to the left first.
With the 29-point lead, O'Sullivan did not want to bring that red too far away from the cushion, so played that shot really quietly. The red goes to right-hand middle. Gauntlet thrown down.
Okay.
The referee is Paul Collier, who's very experienced.
wants to play this red to the middle, but he's not happy about it. It's a tricky shot. It just shows the respect he's got for his opponent. Even the way there's 2 reds in the baulk cushions, a red in the left-hand side cushion, you think, well, it's worth having a go. You're not going to leave too much, but Ronnie knows John's good enough to clear up from this position.
It could be a frame winner. He's just a little irritated. He's rather straight on the pink, limiting options.
Seven. Ronnie OSullivan, 7.
It's amazing how missing an easy ball can knock you out your stride. Ronnie looked to be flying to the first frame when he missed that black off a spot. Since then it's just put that little bit of edginess in his game to get this frame over.
Well, that was entirely uncharacteristic. Hence the grimace as he goes back to his chair. Well, very surprising. 2 reds and now a black also has been missed by OSullivan in frame 1.
One.
Given the way the frame has gone, Stephen, Higgins knows if he can possibly pinch it, it could be very significant psychologically.
Yeah, good start is obviously important. Not so important in a match like this because these players don't really bother. It's too experienced to bother about going 1-0 or 2-0 behind, but it's still nice to get first blood in a match like this, especially as Ronnie's had 2 or 3 good chances now to kill this frame off.
9.
Yes, it's not the numerical impact, as you say, 1-0 either way, neither here nor there, but the fact that OSullivan's had a trio of opportunities, that could get inside his head.
$14. 15. $19. $20.
Not the best shot for getting close to this last red, or even being able to move it. That's very careless, it really is. Someone of John's class and ability to cannon the blue.
26.
So edgy start from both players, Phil.
I think it's built on mutual respect. They know what the other can do, and maybe that's why they're a little jittery.
John Higgins, 26.
Missed red, but second prize. Prudent cue ball, that was always going to go up to that portion of the table. Where the red finished, that was a bonus.
Be the deciding shot for this first frame. If John Higgins could come off just this one cushion and hit the red direct, you'd fancy him getting it safe. But if he's going to come off at least two, it's a completely different matter. Plenty of room around the back of the red as well.
Foul and a miss.
Well, that might have looked a little bit reckless
Ronnie
on screen,
OSullivan,
but it had to play at that speed to square up the angle or narrow the angle. He got pretty close to the red, but you would expect that's the end of this first frame. Already 14-point lead.
One.
O'Sullivan arrives
3.
on the colours, 17 ahead. So yellow, green and brown will do.
5.
And if this isn't routine, I don't know what is.
Eight. $17. $23.
He missed a black off its spot and a couple of reds as well. Nevertheless, O'Sullivan, thanks to a snooker on the last red, gets his desired result. He leads John Higgins by a frame to 0.
And to break.
It's the quarter-final of the Champion of Champions. Ronnie O'Sullivan's just taken a 1-0 lead over John Higgins in what is the best of 11 frames, a race to 6.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Bit nearer. A bit more. You get through to that with full ball, couldn't you? So it's, yeah. All right there, Ronnie. Okay.
A variation of the so-called dump shot. Offside cushion onto top cushion. It's containing, yes, but the initiative remains with the man at the table. It's a sort of safety of last resort.
Yeah, I must admit, I get a bit worried when that frames start with that shot, because the cue ball down this end, sending reds up the other end of the table, normally means quite a long frame. That'll be rectified now, and John Higgins can play a more attacking safety shot. Nudge a couple of reds into play, get that cue ball tight in the baulk cushion. You won't be happy with that. I know it's safe, but it just makes Ronnie's reply that much easier.
When the red went adjacent to a pocket, O'Sullivan needed cover. He hasn't got it.
One.
Very nicely played for the black. I think there'll be a few players that would like to just make sure the red and send the cue ball up for the blue or pink there. It's very positively played. First frame it was O'Sullivan who had first scoring opportunity. This frame is John Higgins. What can he win the frame in one scoring visit?
Well, his scoring power was pretty decent this afternoon against Anthony McGill. Breaks of 50, 75, 78 and 85. Must have been pleased with that.
Yeah, I think I did him a disservice. I said workmanlike in the studio. I think that's anything but. What he was very solid. Sometimes the standard of these two players we've got tonight, sometimes you just expect more.
14. $15.
Sure.
22.
First time I saw these two play, Stephen, it was in the junior competition at the World Masters up the road at the NEC in Birmingham back in the early 90s. From boys to men.
Yeah, it was these two players and Mark Williams, one of the three of them turned professional at the same time. Three world-class players. Mark Williams not, you would say, competing quite to the level of these two at the moment.
29.
But yeah, those three great players who turned professional at the same time was incredible for the game.
30.
World Championships between the three of those players.
37.
You can judge by John's body language how disgusted he is by that shot. He's got the brown, so just concentrate in the pot.
38.
Yeah, what sort of angle? It may be too thin an angle to be able to get into the bunch off one cushion. I don't know. It's hard to see from this point. Oh, in the end he got into the cue ball too much. Second prize.
Okay. 42. John Higgins, 42.
I think it's widely acknowledged that rest play isn't perhaps the best part of John Higgins' game, but that was a real toughie for anyone.
It's read a bit of attention. Now you can see, just goes. No, he's given up on this red safety shot playing.
Higgins' vision on that kind of shot has always been top-notch, always been able to anticipate the telling safety. But O'Sullivan's no slouch in that department either. You underestimate O'Sullivan's tactical prowess, you do so at your peril.
No, he's a phenomenal safety player. And if you notice, Ronnie OSullivan's safety shots, he very, very rarely plays them plain ball. He's always putting some sort of side on the cue ball to manufacture angles to get it to the safest area. Very similar to the late Alex Higgins in that respect. He would never play a safety shot plain ball.
Ronnie OSullivan 1.
Well, it was a good kiss on brown and pink in the sense that it made laying that snooker a little easier. And this isn't your typical early frame snookering behind the ball colours where everything's bunched up. Higgins has to be really careful.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie OSullivan 4.
Just a coat of pain short. Of course, he can make contact with the Reds blindfolded, but he wants to nestle into them. Dead weight.
Well, he doesn't want to send a cue ball in the same line and come up short. He's obviously he's going to leave that red that's in the pink spot to the left middle. No, he's still left it. So very much like the first frame, Ronnie got in first with 40 odd. John had a chance to pinch it. It's the opposite in the second frame. And Ronnie do what John couldn't.
1.
Another of these two players' great strengths in the years has been the ability to win frames from 50-60 behind, making winning clearances such an important part of match snooker.
6.
Now this red might look entirely routine, but there's pressure on it.
Seven. $14. 15.
15.
20.
Well, he's on this red in a fashion. It's a tough shot because he's got to, I think, follow through of 2 cushions. He may be able to stun off 1, but he's got to play at pace. But this is not the red he played for, or certainly not that way, brushing off the pack. Oh, lovely shot, lovely cueing.
21.
And now canning the red that's in between the black and the pink spot.
$28. 29. $36.
I'm not happy with that one. He played for one of these 2 reds to be more straight on them so he could stay in the black. Just didn't get into the cue ball well enough. It's red in the right middle, just got to avoid the pink.
$37.
Well recovered, even to the point of just avoiding the pink. But what a shot that was. Oh, and in the end, what a slice of fortune.
37.
Ronnie OSullivan could go through a whole match and not miss the amount of easy shots. He's missed a black off the spot, first frame, and now a blue off the spot.
Foul. And a miss.
Well, that shot, I think, well, he didn't like the knuckle.
Ronnie
Possibly a free ball,
OSullivan
but
4.
John would much rather miss the
Free
reds by
ball.
a long way the first time and catch them thick and set the frame up.
Bramble.
It was an excellent pot. It was a free shot, it wasn't leaving anything. But still, from tight the cushion, that was great cueing.
1.
As was that.
4.
Second chance.
5.
Well, the equation in snooker is Ronnie OSullivan plus luck equals unbeatable. When he missed the blue, he was
13.
outrageously fortunate. And this bread and butter yellow is frame ball again.
16. 18. 21. 25. 30. Foul. Ronnie OSullivan 30.
As a self-affirmed, John Higgins doesn't like the colour blue, and he'll like it even less after that frame. 2-0. It could easily have been the other way around. Ronnie OSullivan 2-0 up. He benefited from a snooker on the last red in the first frame. He benefited from a fluked snooker with 2 reds left in the second. Higgins in early strife.
Well, another absolute shocker of a break-off. John Higgins, he hit the blue first frame. He's just got past the baulk line and left a red to left middle this one. And what John will know that Ronnie OSullivan, apart from being one of the best players in the world, is probably the best front runner in the world of snooker.
1. Just find an empty seat as quick as you can, please.
No one's immune to the odd comeback here and there. He has lost some
6.
big leads in the past on important occasions, but you're right, Stephen. When he bosses a match, normally it stays bossed.
7.
Really well controlled.
$13.
Just coming round, pointing his Q-tip to exactly where he wants the cue ball. He's going into the bunch of reds from the black.
14.
That doesn't look good at first glance. Certainly not as a way to getting into the bunch of reds. And this is end of break, I think, unless he's managed to get on that red to right middle. It's tight.
21.
You have to play it with a touch of right hand side to help it. Oh no, he's okay.
22.
This was
27.
said about watching and learning tonight. That was the way to go into the pink from the blue. But you could have hoped for an easier opening than this. Look at the reds. Did you bet against the centre here, Phil? The reds in this position?
Nope.
Well, he carelessly missed a black off a spot first frame. Same with the blue off a spot
33.
second frame. So that's about the only lifeline you'd think John Higgins would be clinging to at the moment. A careless shot.
34. $39. $40.
These are all coming from a bad break off, the most elementary shot in snooker, you would think. The first frame, it almost cost him. Ronnie broke down with that missed black on 40 odd. And this time I think it's definitely going to cost him.
45. 46.
He'll be a little bit annoyed at that little shot. I mean, he's
52.
still perfect position. He's going to win the frame, but I think he wanted a little angle in the red to right corner just to nudge that red away from the black there.
53. $59. 60.
Beautiful shot. Absolutely perfect. Just looked inevitable, Phil, didn't it? As soon as he went into that pink, split the reds open. That was it, frame over. He's got that angle now to kiss that red away.
66.
And now it's the pursuit of yet another century. He's got previous, you know, when it comes to making
73.
three-figure contributions.
74.
This would be the 897th of his career. That's just in actual competition and tournament play, not
81.
practice. Oh, no century.
Ronnie OSullivan, 81, and the frame.
But a verge of 81, more than sufficient for Ronnie OSullivan to rapidly extend his lead. The scoreline now reads 3-0 in favour of the Rocket. For Ronnie OSullivan's legion of fans, this is a very agreeable scoreline. He's halfway to the semi-finals already. Second break off for him of the night. Second break off left-handed.
Yeah, big frame for John Higgins. You can't see any way back from 4-0. 3-1 is most definitely still in the match.
Foul.
Looks that red to drop.
Ronnie OSullivan, 4. Settle down, please.
Well, that was the worst possible scenario, especially where the red finished. Ball in hand.
Ronnie will play red onto red here, because it's never automatic to get position when the red's hanging over the pocket. Yeah, playing the plant. Didn't quite get into the cue ball.
1.
When John Higgins came into the studio after his match, he did say the table was playing a little bit heavy, which means it's harder to get that action out the cue ball in the screw shots. Gets recovered tonight after this match, so for the semi-finals it'll be back to perfect playing conditions.
The power right into the very heart of the pocket.
6.
Thwacked it in there.
I wonder if he tempted to play for the black here of this red. In practice, he would have touched your left-hand side and get that black back on his spot, because he doesn't have to do anything with the black because his 2 reds automatically there. But no, he's not going to take the risk.
7.
The 2 reds there on the cushion to the left of black means that if he does get on it, just do nothing with the cue ball, just basically drop it in. It's starting to look ominous though for John
13.
Higgins, you have to say.
$18. 19.
Another peach. So much control power.
His cue ball control is on another level to anyone else in the game. John Higgins is right up there in the top 2 or 3. As a sound like Ding Junhui, Mark Selby, obviously. But this man is on another level when it comes to cue ball control.
25.
As soon as I say that, he goes 2 or 3 inches too far for the blue. He'll go into the pink here, I think. No, just keep playing for the open reds. I might have taken a risk to get one more colour into play.
30.
To keep going up for the blue at the moment.
31.
Yeah, this is why I thought he may have gone into the pack the last time when he had that angle in the blue, because now he's faced with a... Well, the way he's lining up, he's going to play brown, I think. But if he took the blue on, it'd be a longer range red. 3 cushions here.
$35. 36.
I think he's just got a smidgen of angle.
$41. 42.
Now this is the kind of blue, should he take it on, which was the turning point this afternoon. Neil Robertson missed one like this on a break of 44 in the 3rd frame. Just overcut it. After that he was confined to his chair. So refusing the blue in favour of caution.
Ronnie OSullivan, 42.
Well, 3-0 ahead, and just showed John Higgins the ultimate respect there. Unusually suspect John Higgins' safety has been tonight. It just shows you the pressure that Ronnie OSullivan can put you under. Just never lets up.
Cue ball stuck to object ball. Still hope for Higgins.
7. Ronnie OSullivan 7. Wow,
what a time it would be for one of John Higgins' famous clearances after that unbelievably careless shot from Ronnie OSullivan. He took the brown from a safe position. What a shot this is. This is 4-0 if he misses this. He missed it.
John Higgins 1.
When you said he missed it, Stephen, I was convinced he had, and then at the end, I was just wondering whether it might just flop in.
One. Eight.
I know he's playing a home fixture, is Ronnie OSullivan. He was born in Wordsley Hospital near Stourbridge, here in the West Midlands. His mother was originally from Netherton, near Dudley.
16.
And he's looked like the home team tonight. Full authority.
17.
Yeah, he's not been at his brilliant scoring best, but you'd have to say he's
24.
dominated the match so far. Okay, John Higgins was in first in the second frame, couldn't convert.
25.
Apart from that, it's pretty much been the OSullivan show so far tonight.
$32.
Over the course of the last year or so, he has lost some
33.
big leads to lower ranked players in various tournaments. But for Higgins to come back from 4-0 down, quite clearly that is a monumental task.
38. $40.
Yeah, quite simply, John needs to win 3 out of the first 4 frames after the interval.
Ronnie OSullivan 40 on the frame.
It's the perfect first half for Ronnie OSullivan, a nightmare first half for John Higgins. The scoreline, 4-0.
31st victory in their personal head-to-head.
Frame 5.
On 25.
John Higgins to break.
John immediately back to the traditional side, playing from the
first victory in their personal head-to-head.
Frame 5.
On 25.
John Higgins to break.
John immediately back to the traditional side, playing from the green.
Having bungled his 2 other break-off shots this evening. the neutral ticket holders who crammed into the arena will, I'm sure, be hoping for a Higgins revival. They don't want O'Sullivan to wrap it up in double quick time. Enormous interest there was in this match. Queues started to form at 5 o'clock. Managed to get round behind the back of the black, which was the minimum requirement for that shot.
There is an element of this now where John Higgins might think, I'm not going to go down wondering, I'm going for anything he can see. Well, that's better.
1.
For Higgins to have any chance of making a successful recovery, he has to win this frame. He's not going to win 6-5 from 5-0 down.
Well, this needs breaks, and he's just okay.
6. 7.
'John's mindset right now
12.
is just play with as much freedom as he can for a couple of frames. If he wins them, all fine and well. He can find himself back in the match. But
13.
players of this standard, when they do relax, can be very dangerous. Long way back, of course.
20.
Every mountain starts with one small step, I suppose. Can he just get a nice low angle on this next black? He potted it on the wrong side of
21.
the pocket. That's why the cue ball's gone high. Yeah, he's looking at the pink and red. He's attacking from the blue this time. Just the
28.
square face of the pink and red at the top of the cluster was the reason for that shot. He's a wee bit
29.
run out of this. Oh, he's just about. He could play 2 cushions if he wanted. Little hint of a grimace. Just whether he can inject the pace into this. The trouble in playing at the pace he's going to have to if he goes direct. He could miss the pink and red. He got it half ball. And that's why he's not really on one. Still got it to the left middle.
34.
Far from easy.
But
John
the red
Higgins,
to middle
34.
fails.
This is a timing shot now. I think too much angle to go 2 cushions. This is stun follow through, all about timing. Yeah, don't blame him for taking his time. This is a tough shot for any player. I didn't fancy him playing at 2 cushions. I know he missed the pot by some way. I think the white was going too close to the black playing it that way.
But he's left nothing. Well, was that an attempt to pop the second red by means of that cannon, or was it a misjudged safety?
Yeah, I think it was the latter, Clive. That was misjudgment. Most unlike John.
One. Hey. Nine. Eleven.
I mean, even
12.
here, Ronnie deliberately working off the black and not the pink. He doesn't want to tie the pink up just yet.
$19. 20. 7.
Not amazingly well.
28.
It's been assisted by a lot of mistakes from Higgins. And if the chances keep coming,
35.
he'll take most of them, particularly when he's well ahead.
36. 43. 44.
'Yes, he's given this full concentration.
51.
He knows, as Clive mentioned, a 5-0 lead. You'd have to think. Be unassailable.
52.
Even for John Higgins.
$59. 60. 67. 68.
It's going to be 5-0. The question is whether it's going to be an O'Sullivan century.
74.
He did admit
76.
to an ambition to make 1,000 centuries before he's done.
79.
If he could make one here, it would be number 897.
83. 88. 94.
And that classy clearance of 101 takes O'Sullivan to 5-0. 5 up with 6 to play.
Thank you. Frame 6. Ronnie OSullivan to break.
And in contrast to the trouble that Higgins has had with his break-off shot tonight, there seems to be a groove as far as O'Sullivan's break-offs are concerned.
Touching ball.
Just wants to float this red onto the right side cushion. Cue ball in between blue and green. Reason for that is he knows by putting the red, well, he's playing off the side of the pack, so I was going to say put the red side cushion, try and trap John. Just say that there, there's obviously no red on the right side. John can play the bog standard safety. He's pushing reds into the open, so he better get a good cue ball.
Not that good.
This is where I think the O'Sullivan game has transformed in the last 4 or 5 years. The long game was always good. I think it's now up there almost with anyone in the game. Not a problem.
One.
It's such an asset, isn't it, to have a long game when you're as good as he is in the balls.
In winning the English Open a few weeks ago, O'Sullivan was right back in his prime form. He had a 98% pot success rate in the final. Only missed 6 pots all day.
5.
He's never played better than that.
You talk about ball striking, I talk about it regularly. Let me give you a little insight into the O'Sullivan technique, something that only really the trained eye would know about. Watch his right elbow when he plays a stun shot.
11.
I call it dropping it towards the floor, dropping it under the table. When he uses power,
12.
it's piston-like.
$19.
The theory behind it is keep a high right shoulder and drop the right elbow. Everything else stays
$20.
as still as he can. As I say, it's more in the power shots, it's recognisable. Played this to the inch.
26.
Straighten this red.
$27. $34. 35.
I wouldn't be in the least surprised if O'Sullivan finished off with back-to-back centuries following his 101 in the last frame. I think he's only
41.
just managed to hold for his intended red.
$42.
That was
49.
gorgeous. Little cannon. Watch the right elbow disappear.
50. $57. 58.
O'Sullivan made a couple of mistakes in the first 2 frames, but nevertheless won them.
64.
And once he's got on top, he's been absolutely ruthless.
65. $72. 73. 79. All right, thank you. 80. 87. 88. 95. 96. 103.
This crowd has had a treat. Nobody does it quite like Ronnie.
Yeah, a little cannon on the blue, or just drift past it. Everything in working order.
111.
Wasn't at his absolute best before the interval, but since then it's been absolute genius.
113. 116. 120. 125. 131.
A trouncing for Higgins. A wonderful display after the opening couple of frames from O'Sullivan. He finishes off with breaks of 101 and 138. Ronnie OSullivan beats John Higgins by 6 frames to 0.